And we are now recording, so if you have your screens on, don't do anything dumb.
It doesn't show y'all screens. Don't listen to
Well, you don't know that. Okay, so today is what? The 22nd of Monday. And we have had a great weekend. I hope all of y'all did as well. We're going to today talk about title policy. And I know we were supposed to start our goals this week, but we'll go ahead and start that next week. I know some of us are still getting in transitions of things. And we just want to provide some good content before really getting our goals planned, things moved, and getting everything situated. So today we're going to be talking about title policies. Has anybody really understood those things and kind of gone through them a little bit to kind of know what they are?
Yeah, know what they are, but how to explain it to a client would be, really nice.
Perfect. Okay, so that's exactly why we're here. So Marta's joining on. Marta just popped on. So Marta, we're talking about title policies. I asked the question, does anybody really know what's going on? So that's kind of your catch up. So a quick brief analysis of what a title policy is. So initially, what you go and you do all that jazz for First American or Chicago Title or Succession Title, whoever you've been using, their main job is to provide and secure the right to your property. So basically, when you buy that property, you're getting an insurable product, basically stating that if anybody else tries to come and claim rights that, hey, my father left that to my brother, which left that to me, or left, whatever the case may be. So there's a problem with heirship, or there's somebody coming out of the woodwork saying, back in 1922, this was granted to me over by so-and-so on this date, but if there's no record, there's no filings, there's no anything. And that's kind of what those title policies ensure. They ensure your right to enjoy your property and to make sure that nobody is going to come and try and take it from you. And that's first and foremost. So if your client asks you what is a title policy, that's in a nutshell what it is. It's the protection that you are insured, that if anybody tries to come and take it from you, they cannot, and the title company will fight any of those claims on your behalf and on their own dime, right? You've paid for the title policy, and that's the insurance you get. One-time fee, and it goes on in perpetuity. Quick examples on how to read it. So Schedule A is first and foremost. That kind of outlines what it is, what it does, and who's involved. So it typically will outline your lender, you as the person, the grantor, of who gave it to you, and then just kind of really outlining who's involved in the policy. And then Schedule B is going to be the exception. So what it doesn't cover, and always be aware of these things. Just go through it and read them. If you don't have an idea what it is, ask me, or always, of course, ask your title reps. Those are going to be your go-to people along with that. But it basically states what it doesn't cover, and typically it won't cover any easements that run through your property, because that's a city issue, not a title issue. It will not cover any loan problems, because that's covered in the loan documents and not the title. That has nothing to do with any heirship. So whatever doesn't involve airships or rights to the property, it will not cover, right? You want to make sure that everything is correct. And also for the surveys. So if you get a survey and your house is, a quarter piece of it is off the property line, or you have a shed that's over the property line, or whatever the case, those will also show up in your Schedule Bs as exemptions, because if it's not within the boundaries of your property, we are not going to insure that product. So if somebody wanted to claim, hey, this portion of the property is mine because, your neighbor, they will not insure that portion because it is not within those boundary lines. And that's why we want to make sure those surveys are accurate and always good. If you're ever buying anything cash, always require a survey. Don't buy anything cash if you don't get one. Just because if if you have to pay for it, pay for it. It saves you a lot of money and time, and with experience, you have a huge negotiating tool as well. If something is outside or inside and you have to go and correct it, that is a huge thing for you. Or if you bought something and then now you realize it's out of whack when you go to sell it, that's time and money and effort invested to something you can't even sell anymore. So always get a survey, because that's going to really outline where your things are, and it's going to allow you to be insured from the title commitment. Did you have something to say?
Oh, what if you want those like exemptions covered? Can we do that?
So if you want those exemptions covered, there are ways around that, and you can add additional riders. So on your contracts that says the title will amend additional shortages and whatnot. So there is a small fee at the expense of who, and we typically would always put seller, and that is an additional rider that goes over those overlays. But if you don't get those, they're not there, right? So make sure that on those contracts for your buyers, somebody is paying for those those shortages. Because if there are, and there's nothing being taken care of, that's a potential issue later on down the line.
I think it's on the second page of the 1-4 contract, and I have it set up into your templates to where that those exemptions are paid for at the expense of the seller. So y'all shouldn't have to worry about those.
Yeah, for the most part. But always try to get somebody. If it's not a huge issue, if you see the survey and everything's within the boundaries, everything looks good, don't make it too much of a fight. But it's a pretty low cost. I think it's maybe an extra $100, $150, even if that, to get that additional coverage. But again, every deal is specific, and every title policy costs a different amount depending on the price. So always ask your title reps. And then that's the second thing. So title policies are mandated same price per company. Per company, they have to charge the same amount for the title policy based on the price. It's a multiplier that is given to the state, depending after the whole Dodd-Frank Act around 2008, that kind of everything shifted. So it's the same price per title company. The only differences in charges are their title company fees. So if you ever get a quote from one title company that the price of the title policy is this, and another one says this, somebody's fibbing there. It's an extra fee they're charging or whatnot, because they're mandated by the state to have the exact same price.
How much are they?
It depends on the price of the property, right? If it's a $150,000 house, you're probably looking at like a $1,100 title policy. If you're up in the $400,000 or $500,000, you're probably looking more around like a $25,000 to $3,000 policy. It just depends on how much coverage you need. It's just like any other insurance policy. And then Schedule C's. So Schedule C is the big one, and that means close, right? So think about it like that. So in order for us to close, we have to get rid of everything on Schedule C. And that basically will take care of any of your liens, your judgments, any past taxes due, anything on there. So before you close, and you should receive the title commitment within around 2 weeks, if not sooner, from when you even contract, because it's pretty quick. Under the Schedule C's, you'll see that there's typically loans that need to be paid off, and that's because of the seller. So upon closing, those things will initially get taken off, and then it should be clear. But if you do see anything else like a judgment or vendor's lien or mechanics liens or certain things like that, really be aware of those things. I know especially right now with the whole flipping and doing all that, a lot of people are doing work and then not paying contractors, or doing things and not paying people. So, and then those contractors or vendors go and put mechanics liens or vendors liens or whatever, and then they're trying to pass those things on to the buyer, and they're attached to the property. So if your buyer goes and buys one of those things, that's kind of a big issue. So be on the lookout in Schedule C for anything of that nature. Again, those things are, if you do see them, you don't have to close. You can get your money back all the way up until the day of closing. Just because I know in the section where it says any objections in the contract, it says, the single family residential use, 5 days. That only is the exemption for that one particular item. So for some reason, the title commitment says that I cannot build my house, or I cannot live in my house or move into the house because of some reason, then I object within those 5 days, get my earnest money back. But that does not waive your right to a clear title. So if they still cannot clear title after the fact, they can't get rid of a lien, they can't get rid of a judgment, you're still able to back out under that provision and get all your earnest money back. So don't confuse the two. All those Schedule C items need to be cleared before being able to close. So C for C, right? Schedule C for close.
We just had one of our agents who was under contract with her buyer, and there were like $30,000 worth of liens in Schedule C. and we were already like 3 weeks into the contract, and the seller like didn't know about it. I don't know. It was not fun, but they were able to back out of the contract and get the earnest money back just because the seller couldn't clear those liens.
Correct.
So.
Yeah. And there was some shady things also that went on there. So if the title company says that, hey, as long as everybody's aware of it, we can take it off the commitment and blah, blah, blah. So what they were trying to do was pretty much take it off the commitment without resolving the issue. And the title company it seemed like the selling agent was behind it, because the selling agent was also the owner of the property who had just done a flip of their own. And it seemed like they were trying to coerce the title company. Hey, let's just take it off the policy. It'll be considered an exemption, and then we can proceed. So then they proposed that to the buyer, and we just didn't like the way it smelled at all. Just because it's off the title policy doesn't mean it's off the property.
Yeah.
So please be aware of that. If you see just a quick fix, oh, we can take it off, that should definitely raise a red flag. If it's not getting paid off, or if it's not getting a release from the Bexar County clerks, then please do not proceed. Please get me involved. Give me a call, and we can take things from there. But please just always look at the Schedule C by bare minimum. If you see something in there that looks odd, judgments, liens, mechanics, vendors, anything in there, please give me a call. I'll take a look at it for you, and we can move things forward from there. Last but not least, always rely on your title rep people. They are the most used and underused people in the industry, right? A lot of people want to just blame them for all the problems that happened during the transaction, but a lot of the times it's not their fault, or things just get handed to them badly. But please utilize them a lot, and take them to lunch, get to know them, really understand them, and know the way they work, because they are your most valuable player within this transaction. The reason why they get blamed for so much stuff is because they're so important. And they're the ones that are going to make or break the deals. They're the ones that can check in on things for you that you otherwise can't. I can't get a hold of the seller's agent or the buyer's agent, whatever's going on. Call your title people. They're your go-to resource. Hey, can you check on the lender for me? See what's really going on. He's not giving me a straight answer. Can you check on him and see what's going on? Hey, did the buyer's seller's disclosure come out from the lender? Because the selling agent or the buyer's agent won't tell me, and it just seems like they're trying to extend time, or what's going on. Just really use them as your point guards, guys. Get to know them, go to lunch with them, and utilize them, because they are going to be your 100% make or break people. Because I know a lot of the times, if I can't get straight answers, I call my people. Especially we love Melissa Waller with Succession Title, as well as Sophia Wilson with Chicago Title. Capital Title, sorry. I always get those two confused. But yes, if y'all want their contact info, we'll put it in the email as well. We love those two title reps. They're there for us whenever we need them. Anytime we want them to check on a deal for us, they check in, and they kind of push things along. So if we have timing issues, scheduling issues, whatever the case may be, talk to these people, and they can help you out tremendously.
Yeah.
And then
do you have questions about any of the title commitment stuff? Schedule A, Schedule B, Schedule C?
This is not about the schedules, but have you heard about the high rise of deed fraud?
Deed fraud.
Yeah. Will this policy cover, like, people can get online now and access the public records and actually change ownership, and the original owner doesn't know that their deed has been stolen? Have you heard about that?
I haven't heard too much about that, but obviously with the rise in technology and the rise of, hacking and whatnot, I can definitely see that. These documents aren't watermarked. They aren't, they're sealed, but they can be easily manipulated and, Photoshopped. So I can definitely see that being an issue. But to answer your question, that would definitely be, I would say, a yes. Title is there first and foremost to protect your rights as the owner for the property, and that would fall under. But essentially, I haven't heard too much about it, but that is a good question I will follow up with. How does that play out?
Isn't policy, like, from the date they buy it back So if it were to change from the date that they buy it forward, like fraud, the policy wouldn't cover that, right?
It would, because technically it wasn't a bona fide, correct deed transfer, right? It was fake.
Right.
It was manipulated. So therefore, that policy should, in turn, take care of that. But obviously, I'm not an expert, and I will find out on that. That is actually the first I've really heard about deed fraud.
Yeah.
I
would assume title would be aware, and they probably have things in place to kind of,
because that's really never been an issue. Even talking with title reps, they've gone over it, but they never really talked about that. I guess that's a pretty new topic, Jay.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And
Yeah, because I heard there's a company out there offering insurance for it.
Oh,
It's on the rise.
It doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't.
Yeah, we'll ask Melissa about that and see what she has to say. And that's another thing, like as a real estate agent, your knowledge is limited when it comes to title. So if there's ever something that you can't explain, don't try to explain it and possibly mislead your client. You can always have your client reach out to title to explain anything and the title commitment. So, but it's good to have a base knowledge, and that's what we want to give y'all.
Correct. And then also to Sherry's point, when she was saying that the deed allows you to have those protections from, when you purchase the property and so far back. So there's two types of deeds. There's actually more, but I'm only going to cover two. There's your general warranty deed, which is the best deed, right? That's the one that's going to protect you for life. That whenever you purchase the property all the way back to it was constructed from the golden age, right? That is the one you want, a general warranty deed. There's also a second one called the special warranty deed. It sounds special, but it's not that special. So what that will do is if I sell the property to the next person and I give them a special warranty deed, that means they can only come back to me. They can only go back, and then from here on out is not insured. So if anybody else behind me tries to come and claim, they're not going to worry about that person. They're only going to worry about the title from me. So if you can get a general warranty deed, avoid special warranty deeds because there's not that same coverage in perpetuity. It's only going to go back to the person from where I got that special warranty deed. That makes sense. It's only me as the person guaranteeing that I'm giving you a clean title, and you're taking that on good faith that I am the only one allowed to have this property. And then that's not taking into account the people behind me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any other questions, guys? Or
where is that noted, Alan?
Huh?
Where is that noted? Is that on one of the title schedules? What type of deed you're getting?
Yes. So typically, yes, it will show it on the title commitment, whether it's a general warranty, a special warranty, or if it's a fee simple sale or not. And then also it's stipulated in your 1-4 family contracts that you will be receiving a general warranty deed unless specified otherwise.
Yeah.
So unless specified in special provisions or in other documents stating that you are receiving a special warranty deed, all of the TAR promulgated contracts specified general warranty deed will be passed on, or you can back out of the contract and whatnot.
So it's not something you have to write in. It's already
already
like an automatic
in play.
Yeah,
But
unless stated otherwise.
Just to let y'all know, and also cash deals, right? Cash deals are always different. I know a lot of our agents want to do investments and do all these things. So whenever you are dealing with cash, again, get the surveys. That'll save you a lot. And then as well, just making sure that nobody throws in a special warranty deed verbiage or certain things, because they're not as easily catched when you're dealing with cash, because you're closing relatively quickly.
Yeah.
So as far as title fees, is it like a 1% usually?
No, not necessarily. So the title fees, and they vary. A lot of the times for a closing, they're around $550. So like if you did a cash transaction, the amount of closing costs you have is very, very minimum. It's maybe the title policy plus their fee, which is maybe $500 to $600, right? If you're buying cash. The reason why buyers have such high closing costs is because of the lender. That's the 1% origination fee, plus of a lot of other lending fees, attorney's fees, appraisals, a bunch of other stuff. So really, if you just did a clean deal with title, their title fees are pretty small. Less than $1,000 usually total.
Yeah. So every title company has their title policy, which Alan said is
It's a fixed rate.
Yeah, and then they have their title fees, which can vary from company to company. Some of I think Netco is one of the title companies that
It's like zero.
They
fees.
have like zero.
But you also pay for zero fees, which is nothing. And
yeah,
it's
they don't give you great service.
Yeah.
So, but on average, I'd say that a title fee is about $500, $575.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I did compare for a client once because he wanted a specific amount, that the title policy and title fees would be. And so I did compare, and it came back exactly the same from 2 different title companies. So
yeah, and you can ask, before you pick a title company that you want to use, reach out to someone in the title company and say, hey, what are your title fees? And
they'll give you a breakdown. And they're all pretty competitive. I mean, they're not largely different. I mean, like you said, Marta, some may even be very same, just because it's not rocket science. All of it's public information. So if I want to be more competitive than the other title company, I'm going to charge exactly the amount and maybe give them a little better service or something like that, right? It's all competitive. Everybody, for the most part, we all charge 3%. So it's just a competitive nature, and a lot of people know title, they use title. In a sense, title people are generally all the same. It's just those relationships you make and that workflow that really benefits you and your clientele. And then did you want to have a topic?
Well, do you have any other questions about, title while we're talking about it? I know there's a lot that you could probably ask, but I don't know.
So just on the Schedule C, we get it like 2 weeks or 7 days, whatever, the title commitment. We check the Schedule C. And then how do we find out where the status is on that? Can we just keep calling title? Are there any issues with Schedule C before the closing? We should just touch base with them?
Yes.
Exactly. So generally on Schedule C, it's typically going to be like the seller has to pay off their current mortgage. The seller has to, pay something off, move something here. The buyer might have to pay off their car before they can then qualify to, it's just kind of something. Oh, what?
When you get it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah, so just that's typically what you would see in those things. And then little by little, or from time to time, you'll start seeing like those judgments or those vendor liens or like those things. But yeah, when you get it, just do a quick read over it. And if you don't understand anything, either contact me or contact your title company, and then they'll give you those progressions. Anytime you want a status update on, hey, did they take care of that? Or when is this going to be taken care of? And a lot of it gets taken care of at the closing table, because then they have the funds to pay those things off, and then those things get cleared.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so something that I wanted to talk about, I like to read. Alan likes to listen to audiobooks, which same information, whatever. There was a book that we were introduced to last week. I don't know if y'all have heard about it, but it's called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It's actually written by Gary Keller, who is one of the owners of Keller Williams. I know, KW. And this is kind of like, I guess you could say, every Keller Williams agent's Bible. That aside, it does have some really good information in here. And
motivational tips, and just kind of keeping yourself motivated.
So what they did, Gary and then his co-authors, they interviewed like 50, I don't know the exact number, they interviewed a lot of the top real estate agents in the country, and they asked them some certain questions. So then from their answers and their own knowledge, obviously Gary is very successful, they then put this book together. And it's, like Alan said, it touches on some, self-development parts, which is really important as not only a human, but, running your own business, being an agent, you have to continually work on yourself. But then it also gives you some really practical tools as real estate agents, certain models to follow. I'm only like a fourth of the way through, and it's been really informative. So what we were going to do, because we both really like it, was anyone who wants a copy, we'll buy one for you, and either mail it to you or just have you pick it up at the office, just because we think it's really important to not only be knowledgeable about real estate, but continuously work on yourself. It's just a big part of success. So
yeah. So whether y'all want it on a paperback or if we can figure out an audio book version for you, kind of like how I like it. I like in the car. It's much easier for me, just to listen to it while I drive or while I do something. So if you do want a copy, just let us know how you'd like it, and we can get that to you, no problem. We really see it as an investment for you guys, so don't feel obligated to say no just because it's, you know, the first reaction. We want all of y'all to have it if you want it, just to help you guys propel and grow you guys, and just to really give back to you guys as we want to throughout everything. Any other questions?
Just an update as far as like business cards and things like that. The timeline.
So the first round of signs that I ordered have come in. There's quite a few people who I'm actually still waiting on headshots for. I know I'm taking Leslie's today. Sorry. And Marta, I did order yours last week. Right now, our print company is about like a week out. So I would expect to have those back probably this week. So yeah, but I'll keep y'all updated. I'll check in and I'll let you know individually where you're at on your order status.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good. Anything else?
Okay. So I think we also did solidify, I know with the whole way of the world, we are still going to host that kind of appreciation and welcome barbecue, hopefully. So we've really set for next month, July, and I think the date is going to be, what are we doing?
Well, we kind of wanted to ask y'all, I know the 4th of July is a Saturday. So we were either thinking Thursday the 9th or Thursday the 16th of July. So I guess what I'll do is actually I'll just send out an email and take a poll and see which of those 2 days works best for y'all. I know you don't have to answer right now, but that's kind of what we're thinking. So just keep a heads up for that email, and then we'll solidify it.
Yeah, because we'd love to have y'all out. We'd love to see y'all again. I know we saw each and every one of you on onboarding, but we want to keep it together. We want y'all to meet the rest of the team as well. So if y'all can make it, bring your significant others, your kids, it's fine. We'll have some backyard games and some barbecue and just some food. If you're a vegetarian or have a certain food restriction, let us know as well. We'll cater to that. That's
assuming everything, nothing gets crazy.
Yeah,
with
nothing
all this
gets
COVID
too
stuff.
locked down up until then. But overall, just let us know if you can or can't make it. And,
but I'll send out an email.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay, well then that kind of solidifies it for today. Feel free to watch this at any time. We are going to be reposting it. And if you have any other further questions about anything at all, just give us a call and we'll see you all soon.
I do have a real quick thing. I was trying to see the video from last Thursday and it was not showing up. It says not available.
Okay, I'll check on it. I uploaded it to YouTube, so first, if it didn't work for some reason, I'll make sure to email it out.
I think we got taken down.
No.
For conspiracy.
Did anyone else have an issue with that? I don't know if anyone else tried to watch it.
I think I tried to re-listen to just the beginning, since I think I missed the beginning, and I was able to do it.
Okay.
I did it based off your link.
Yeah. Wait, you didn't do it based off the link, or you did?
I just went straight to the link that you sent.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, I'll send you a new one, Leslie. Maybe, I don't know, something happened, but I'll get that to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was able to listen to it through the link. The only thing, when I went into your guys' YouTube channel to view the videos, for some reason, it didn't show any videos.
Yeah, so I was messing with the privacy settings because I think what you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel because I didn't want the videos to be public. That way,
I'm subscribed and it didn't allow me to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look into that.
It shows me your like little profile type thing, you know what I mean? Everything like that, because I am subscribed, but it won't show me like the videos or anything.
Okay, I'll mess with that when we finish up here because that was something that I wanted to make available for y'all through YouTube. So I'll look at the privacy settings and I'll get that fixed for you.
Cool. Oh, and then lastly, guys, I know I mentioned in the beginning of the video, but now that we're at the end and I need to remember it again, think about your goals for next week. So starting Monday, we're going to start doing just small goals, whether it's, I want to call 10 people, I want to set one appointment, I want to do an open house.
Something you can do in 7 days.
Something you can do in 7 to 10 days, just something, that's going to keep you motivated in a sense. Just say, hey, I still have to complete my goal. And that'll just kind of keep you geared to, motivating yourself as well as doing more real estate, hopefully. So just keep that in mind, something small, something attainable within 7 days. And then we'll touch base with you guys on Monday and kind of start that whole rolling so we can get our weeks really progressive. And then other than that, if nobody has any questions.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll see you all next week. Thank you, guys.